This is Accounts of Adventure featuring Galdran's Tomb from Karkion issue number 3. While enjoying some much-deserved relaxation time in the fields just outside a small village, lauded adventurers Tubbs and DW notice a dove descending in their direction. It alights right before them, and attached to one of its ankles is a small scroll. Upon retrieving the minute parchment from the bird, the two PCs learn it's an invitation from a certain Farmina. She offers them a unique proposal: successfully traverse Galdran's tomb, a location known for being the final resting place of not only the dashing traveler for which the burial site is named, but also of many souls who longed to earn the wealth Galdran amassed during his daring escapades the world over. After seeking out more information at the village's tavern, Tubbs and DW decide to accept Farmina's challenge. The two arrive at dawn on the third day, with the elf lady greeting them just outside the tomb. She gives them some instructions, and blindfolds. Early on, as they are beginning to go through the different parts of the tomb, the player for DW rolled a demon, causing his character to fall through a trapdoor. A tip here: players take an advancement mark whether they roll a dragon, which is a natural 1 and success, or a demon, a natural 20 and a failure. These can help players potentially improve their player character skills. See Chapter 2, Your Player Character, Experience section on page 29 of the Dragonbane rulebook for more details. One of the challenges the two adventurers faced involved an enormous scale. Without any spoilers here on how to solve this, I'll share that my two players tried multiple techniques. The one that finally worked, I thought, was rather ingenious. I required strength and agility rolls from both of them to accomplish what they were trying to achieve, which can best be described as a tight squeeze. After traveling through a few more rooms rather uneventfully, Tubbs correctly solves a riddle. This helps the pair avoid an interesting encounter in another room further along, much to my disappointment. Between this, however, the player for DW rolls 2 demons, causing his character some significant damage. Perhaps I was viewed as being a bit harsh with my judgment as a GM here in the player's opinion, but I also knew what was coming and that these wounds would be temporary afflictions. The adventurers go through some more rooms with barely any encounters, primarily because the two players chose to be quite cautious. Basically, at this point, they enter the arena, where Farmina awaits their arrival. Her tone has changed, and neither Tubbs nor DW seem surprised. The she-elf notices DW's wounds, instantly healing him with her magical abilities. Her motivation is purely selfish, of course, as she desires to see the duo fight the beast that she has locked up and ready for what she's hoping is going to be an exciting, brutal exhibition. Another GMing tip here. In Dragonbane, monsters have what's called ferocity. This is how many times monsters will have a turn and they'll do their monster attacks, and this is only during combat. Also, monsters always hit, so GMs do not roll to see if monsters' attacks are successful. It will happen. Player characters have to be creative and think about how to survive such vicious creatures. Dodging, which calls for an evade roll, parrying, or even running away are just some of the options. Apart from that, if you're GM like me, and often have 2 to 3 players at your table, you may want to consider adjusting the monster's ferocity or HP, not so much to balance things, as Dragonbane doesn't necessarily focus on balance, but rather to make the game fit your player character's competence. See Chapter 7, Monsters, More Dangerous Monsters Inset on page 83. So some of the monster encounters have passed, and Farmina pauses everything in the arena to give the characters a special axe, as well as open a door that leads them further into Galdran's tomb. The PCs explore a few more rooms, and one room has a puzzle that the players and I were both a bit baffled by. despite one player being far more of a math riddle aficionado than I am. Without giving anything away, I will also share that the adventurers some way, somehow do meet Galdran. Some other highlights of the rest of our playtime of this scenario includes Tubbs' player rolling a dragon, which again is a success in Dragonbane, allowing him to sneak past some enemies despite his portly size. DW also convinces one of the foes to change sides, but little does that hobgoblin know that he will soon meet death for such a betrayal. So how did it go down in the end? The big BBEG moment with Farmina was, according to my players, overpowered. Remember my GM note earlier though about adjusting ferocity and HP for monsters? The writer of this adventure created Farmina as an NPC, not a monster, so I had no intention to lower any of her abilities or spells. I wanted to know how this would play out as written so I could give this as fair a review as possible. Ultimately, it took us 4 hours to play, and I do feel that we had less total playtime than what this scenario really could require if you go through every room and every part in great detail. I think that the reason why it was a bit shorter for us is mainly because the players were cautious and already on guard. They felt like it was a trap from the beginning, they said. Both Tubbs and DW did survive their injuries, thanks to DW being successful with all of the death rolls. And you can learn more about what happens when player characters hit 0 HP in Chapter 4, Combat and Damage section on page 50. You may be wondering, so did Tubbs and DW walk away with Galdran's massive wealth and treasures? We kinda left that hanging. By the time we completed what we assumed would be a one-shot, Farmina and her beloved pet panther had teleported away to safety, and the PCs were fairly wiped out from that final encounter, and we went ahead and called the game. As an epilogue, when we had our post-session debriefing, we concluded that the pair would donate the majority of their newly acquired wealth to charity. More than that, we discussed the adventure itself. Is Galdran's Tomb worth playing? Yes, especially if you have a group of players who have more advanced characters, so they're going to have some more advancement in their skills and a few more heroic abilities. I advise against using this as an introductory adventure. I also advise against trying this as a one-shot. Give yourself, as a GM, 2 sessions to allow the scenario room to breathe. I think your players will appreciate that. So there you have it. Pick up Karkion 3 using links in the Watchful Games newsletter. Again, it's available in both English and Swedish on DriveThruRPG, where you can also find the first 2 issues as well. May the dice be ever in your favor. This has been Accounts of Adventure with KJ.